Hello, everyone. Hello again, and welcome to the Radical Edge of HR with HRKS. I am your host, Tanya Holly. I'm a senior marketing specialist with HRKS, stands for HR Knowledge Source. And I am once again very happy to be here with you. And we always have a special guest, and we have another special guest today to talk about an interesting topic. Our topic today is multi generations in the workplace. And our special guest is none other than Miss Tammy Sanford. Welcome, Tammy.
Thank you. Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, Tammy is an HR officer with the City of Columbus, Ohio Department of Development. I have to say that because, of course, we're in
Ohio.
Georgia. So, all the way from Ohio, Tammy, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And could you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, like maybe how long you've been in HR and what you do?
Sure. I have been working in HR for about 20, almost 24 years. I've been
Mm.
working for the City of Columbus. I actually started in 2007. I left for a couple years and came back in 2015. And I've worked in, as far as in different capacities as a HR analyst. I've been an employee benefits rep, and now I'm an HR officer because we have 18 different departments in the city of Columbus, and
Oh,
I'm in the Department of Development.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And as you can see, everyone, Tammy has a lot of knowledge when it comes to HR. 20 years, you don't look like you could have been anywhere for 20 years, but I'm just saying. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So let's go ahead and dive into our topic today, which, of course, I mentioned multi generations in the workplace. Tammy, just to start off, can you just define that? What does that mean, multi generations in the workplace?
Sure. Multi generations are having different age groups that work within the same workforce. So, and I'll use my job as as an example.
Okay.
We have people that are from 80 years old down to, I think our youngest person that works for us is 24. So all of the people in between encompass, they come from different generations, they have different mindsets, they have different backgrounds, and we have to learn how to put all of those people together so we can work in harmony and get our core job services taken care of.
Wow, that's a huge age difference.
It
You
is.
say 80, you think of an 80-year-old versus a 20-year-old.
Exactly.
That is
You're
that's
literally working with your great grandparent.
wow. Now when you put it like that really sheds some light on it. So if you think about it. So that's
Exactly.
interesting. So, and those are the groups, or is there something else to that? Would these be considered the different groups, the age groups?
Yes, there's actually five age groups that encompass the different generations. So we have the traditionalist group, which are the people that were born in 1945 and over and prior. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Then we have the baby boomers that we all know. The baby boomers, they were people that were born in 1946 all the way up to 1964. Then we have the Gen Xers, which I am a member of, who were born in 1965 all the way through 1976. Then we have the millennials, and we all are very familiar with the millennials because they have made the news. They have surpassed the baby boomers group. They've surpassed their numbers. I think they've doubled the baby boomer amount. And those are the folks that were born between 1977 and 1995. And then we have the final group, which will probably eclipse the millennials in the next couple years, which are the Gen Zers, which are my kids. I have a millennial and I have two Gen Zers, and they're the people that were born from 1996 through current day.
Wow. Okay. So are they going to keep being called Generation Z?
Probably until some point where they're, old. I don't know who sets these year
I was
dates.
going to ask you that. Okay.
Yeah, I have never found out who sets the dates for these, the time changes and the name changes. But the Gen Zers, well, put it in perspective. 1996, I have a son that was born in 2001 and a daughter was born in 2004. They're Gen Zers.
Right.
So right now, the Gen Zers are about 18.
Hmm.
Yeah, the youngest Gen Zers are 18. So I'm going to assume when they reach probably 2025, they're going to come up with,
Come
I
up
don't
with
know,
another
who
name. I
knows,
wonder who
Generation
comes up with
Rainbow, who knows?
that. Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you for breaking that down. That's very interesting. I wonder how they came up with the names. But
I'm
that's
going to
interesting.
research that. I'm
Okay.
find
Yeah.
out. I'll let you know.
Okay. Because we got an X and a Z, but nobody else has letters like that.
Right, right. I don't know where the X and Z, I think somebody got lazy.
They're going to go backwards though, because that's the end of the alphabet. So,
Right, right.
okay. So let's go ahead and talk about these multi generations. So, what do you think the best approach for leadership to address the staff's wants and needs when in regard to multi generations?
As a leader, what we tell our managers, we stress that you have to be flexible. People have different needs. An 80-year-old doesn't need daycare needs versus a
Mhm.
30 something who has small children
Right.
that do have daycare needs. We also have to realize that some of our older employees are maybe not as knowledgeable in the using technology. So we have to make sure that they're comfortable and bring them up to speed to where they're comfortable to learn new processes.
Mhm.
We also have to remember that the younger generations are not slow, lazy, or they have no commitment. You hear older people say they work 30 and out, they work for 30 years and they retire and they're loyal to their company. Well, millennials and Gen Zers, that's not their mindset.
No.
They're loyal to whatever until the next, situation that comes along. They might stay, they might not. So, but we should not pigeonhole people
Mhm.
into categories. We need to make sure that we meet them where their needs are and make sure we talk to them and listen and give them their wants as well as their needs.
That's good because the needs are different for different age brackets. That's for sure.
Exactly.
And I think the newer, I don't know, call them the newer, the younger generations
Hmm.
are all about what's in it for them more. They look at organizations and what can you do for me versus
Right.
the
And
older
but you
generation.
have to understand their perspective of why, they feel the way that they do.
Hmm.
So you just have to make sure that you listen to people before you just put them in boxes.
Right. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just know
Right.
that they think differently. They just really do
Exactly.
think differently for whatever the reason.
Exactly.
And some of it is justified, I have to say,
Right.
with why they think differently. So I can admire some of that. But it
Right.
makes for interesting as a leader, like you said.
It makes it very interesting.
Yeah. When you have to accommodate all the ages.
Right.
Um, so it looks like we might be having some technical issues because they're saying visually it is not showing, and I'm not sure
Oh,
why. Um, that's odd because it tells me we're on. So if you can hear us, just enjoy the audio. I apologize. I'm not sure of why we're not having any visual. I don't know
oh.
if that's on both LinkedIn and Facebook, um, but it says that we're on. So I'm not sure what's going on. The
I'm
words are
not having
showing.
any problems on my end. I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, well, we'll carry on. I apologize to those that might be trying to see us and you can't see Tammy's beautiful face. I apologize. I'm not sure
Oh,
why that is, but I'm going to go ahead and continue, and maybe it'll come to life as we continue going.
sure.
So let me go ahead with the next question for you. How should generational stereotyping be addressed?
You have to make sure that you don't perpetuate stereotypes.
Mm,
Just like we can't say that older generations are rigid and they're not trying to or willing to learn anything new. We can't say the young people are lazy or they're just, whining about everything and they want things. It's all about me. They call them the trophy generation, that everybody gets a trophy and everybody gets a win. You really can't buy into those stereotypes because you can't box people like we just talked about previously. You
right.
can't box people into specific categories. So we just have to make sure I really encourage our managers to reach out to their staff, talk to them one on one, ask them what their needs are, make sure that you foster, collaborations with the different groups, make sure that people are comfortable working with one another. You
Hmm.
also have to make sure that you use the human touch. Come across people, I'm your boss, and you're my employee, does not come across well to anybody. So you got to make sure that people are comfortable with you, so they'll be open and honest with you when you ask these questions, and then they'll, tell you what they need. Because 9 times out of 10, people are more than willing to work with you, and they want to have a work environment that they want to get up and come to every day.
Yes, that's good. Thank you, Tammy, for that. And I'm listening to the stereotypes that you're giving because I have heard them. They're very common.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but people, based on what you just said, people also have to keep in mind, even if they don't intend it to be negative, like someone may say, "Oh, you're young, you can do that. You're good with technology." They may
Right.
say something like that, and not kind of as a compliment, excuse me, but you still don't want to buy into it and be careful because
Exactly.
people could be offended by it, even if you meant it as a compliment.
Exactly. Because, for an example, for our IT coordinator in our office, he's a member of the older generation,
Mm,
and he can outdo me in anything on a computer or system. I pick up the phone and call him to get anything done. But if you use stereotyping, he's one of the people that don't know technology. So
hmm.
you can't, somebody walking in from the outside would assume, well, he's an older person, he might not be able to
Right.
do that. So this is why you have to make sure you keep an open mind and open dialogue.
Yes. Another word that comes to mind is prejudging, which kind of goes
Exactly.
right along with this
Exactly.
stereotyping. Yeah, prejudgment.
Hmm.
Okay. And so, how do you get all the groups to work together? Because, I mean, sometimes it appears that they may not even have anything in common.
Exactly. Well,
So,
the easiest thing to do is have cross collaboration. Say that 10 times. But when you do things like that, you make sure that people are talking about. Say if there's an idea that our director has, he's excellent about having all of his staff. We have a senior staff level meeting where we discuss it with our different divisions, because in our case we have 5 different divisions.
okay.
We discuss ideas, but the beauty of it is when we come from a senior level, all our administrators go out to their staff, and they have all of these diverse generations in their groups, and they
Mhm.
sit and let people come up with ideas on how can we reach the director's vision, or how can we reach the goals that the city has set for the Department of Development. So those cross collaborations in the sharing of ideas really help. And then also you can have mentorship
Mm,
collaborations
that's
where you
good.
put an older person with a younger person. That older person can give you, say, experience as far as being on the job, where
Mm,
that younger person can bring and share the new experience that they might have just learned coming out of college. Because some of our older staff might not have a bachelor or master's degree, but they have a
mhm.
wealth of knowledge because they've been on the job for 20 is sometimes 30 years. But you can't discount a new person coming in, a younger person coming fresh with their bachelor or master's degree, because there's a lot of things that they've learned in school in
Right.
different business concepts that can really help and further our business.
Right. And new things
Exactly.
change. Yeah.
So that exchange of, not only, it's always, the older person mentors the younger person. It's important that the younger person can mentor us older
Mhm.
people as well.
And you said us older people. I'm not
I'm talking
claiming.
about me. I'm
I'm,
talking about me.
I'm
I'm not
just
putting you in that category.
I'm just saying, us. I wasn't trying to be in that group.
Right. Right.
Okay. Um, I was just making sure that was clear. Okay. Thank you,
Yes.
Tammy.
People that are older than them. So
Okay. There you go. Okay. Thank you.
uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's good. The collaboration. Um,
Hmm.
and is there anything gained by promoting a multi generational environment?
Definitely. It makes people feel more relaxed. They're comfortable. When people are comfortable, if they know that they're being heard, if they know that their ideas matter and their contribution matters, people will give more of themselves. So, we all come in and try to give 100%. Some days it's 100%, some days it's a little bit less, some days it's a little bit more. But could you imagine coming into an office where you're not given any support? Nobody seems to care what you say,
Mm,
and you think, and then you're supposed to turn over and give a good work product. It doesn't work that way. That's not human nature.
right.
So it's wonderful to make sure that you foster an environment of openness, honesty, and collaboration.
And so, with that, with saying that, when you say promoting the multi generational environment, does that also mean recruiting that way when you're looking for candidates? Do you also look for, so you have a variety, so your environment continues to be that way?
Yes, we have in the city of Columbus. There's Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a diversity and inclusion department. So, and they collect our data on how we're hiring and hiring practices in all of
Mhm.
the departments. So we actively look for not only diversity in age, we diversity in race, gender diversity. We make sure that we have, we make sure that we have a rainbow, for lack of better term, of
Understood. Mhm.
everyone to come into our office. There's people that, we have traditional male jobs and traditional female jobs. And we've made sure, like, we have rehab techs that go out in the field and they do different home jobs for
Mhm.
people in the community. We have make sure that we have a nice showing of women in those positions. We have more office type positions that aren't
Mhm.
traditionally male led, and we have some people that are we have men that are working in those positions and they're flourishing. So we're talking about multi-generational, but we want to make sure that we have multi everything going through our office,
Diverse.
because
Mhm.
you have to have opinions and thoughts and ideas coming from everyone to be able to cover the broad stroke of, taking care, in our case, the citizens of the city of Columbus. So,
Yes.
it's you got to have the makeup of your office has to look like the makeup of your environment that you're serving.
Very good.
Hmm.
Very good. Some good nuggets there. Thank you. And by the way, Tammy, they are able to see us now. Someone just said they can hear and see us fine, so we're good. So
Oh,
for
good.
instead of
Hello, everybody.
a few minutes ago, yes. So I'm glad.
Good.
Um, we're good to go. All right. That was good. And those are some good tidbits, especially if there are companies or people out there that are not doing that. They may want to consider or, get the information and use it to their advantage. So we
Right.
got one more question. And if those that are watching and listening, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. What should you, as a leader, do when managing a multi generational team? I think you might have touched on this a little bit throughout our conversation, but is there anything else?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to provide training opportunities, again, for the city of Columbus of Ohio. We have a citywide training center, which all of management encourages all of their staff to go to training. This is classes that they offer during work days. You
Mhm.
could there's 8-hour classes, there's classes that are a week long session. We pay our employees to get trained on any topics, not just job related, but we have classes for people who have elderly parents that that you're dealing
Okay.
with elder care. We have dealing with difficult teens. We have learning Excel, anything that betters the person and makes them a better person, better employee. Anything
Mhm.
that benefits your learning is important. So, providing that training and education is very, very important. And we also make sure that everybody is well respected. If you don't get respect, you're not going to give respect.
Mhm.
So, if everybody comes in a situation where they know that they're being respected, that's 100,000% important. And also, you have to be flexible again, which we talked about earlier. So you
Mhm.
need to be flexible with. We have a situation where, since COVID, that touched everyone, we had a situation where we worked home literally for 2 years. We didn't think as a city entity that we could do something like that, but it worked. But then when we came back, we had situations, children that needed to be taken to school, daycare situations. We had to make sure that we were flexible with people's lives that changed for 2 years, and now they're coming back, but things are different, and we had to be flexible to be able to move with the changing times. And
Right.
the last thing, you have to point out people's similarities. You know,
Hmm.
very, very common here in this country and all over the world is we point out our differences. You know,
Yes.
how our group is different and how our group, is surpasses this group or whatever. It's key that we point out our similarities to make sure people understand, hey, there's more about us that are similar than are different. You know,
Yes.
most of us in our office are Ohio State fans. you know,
Yes.
we're Buckeye fans because, most of us, we're Buckeyes. But, you have to point out places where people can meet each other. So
Hmm.
once they realize those similarities, then it's easier for them to realize, hey, I can work with you because we do this. We have kids the same age, or we went to the same college, or we live in the same neighborhood. So it's very important to point out all of our similarities and definitely be flexible.
Yes, a lot of that, what you said, it sounds like you have to be intentional with it. Basically, you've got
Very
to
intentional.
be intentional with these things
Hmm.
to when you're managing multi generations.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Well, Tammy, that is all I have today. I thank you so very much for joining us. Did you have anything else you want to share with us that we didn't hit on or missed about multi generation in the workplace?
No, I just want to say that it's just like I said earlier, it's funny that we have people that are literally working with what could be their great grandparent,
Yeah,
or you have generations that you could be working with your mom or dad. You're work I
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you could be working with your kids. It's a different situation than, say, when for myself, when I came into the workforce, most of the people were a lot older than me.
Hmm.
And that was how it is. But now, you come in and you've got your manager might be younger than you. In my case, my
Yes.
director is younger than me, and it's
Easily. Yeah,
hilarious. But
that's true.
it's different from when I walked into the workforce. But you have to learn that things have changed. When
Yes.
you come into the workforce, in the interview, you used to have dress suits, and you made sure you had a black or a navy suit. That's not the case anymore.
Right.
Everything is much more business casual. You got to learn to be able to move with the times and
Mhm.
make sure that you listen to what people that are coming in with newer ideas, and you
Mhm.
got to be willing to implement these changes. Just talking about it isn't going to do anything.
That's true.
Have to implement these changes to make sure that everybody feels like they're a part. And I thank you so much for inviting me today. I really enjoyed talking.
Of course, that. Thank you, Tammy. You gave some very good information, nuggets and tidbits for hopefully our audience will take home or take back to not home, but back to the office with them.
Right.
That are helpful. So we appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully you'll come back. Maybe we'll have some other topics we can discuss at a later date.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Tammy Sanford, all the way from Columbus, Ohio, joining us on Multi Generations in the Workplace. Again, thank you, Tammy. It was a pleasure. Everybody, make sure you follow us, like us at HRKS, and we hope to see you next time on the Radical Edge of HR, because, of course, at HRKS, we know HR. See you next time, everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.